started here. Good morning,
Okay.
and go ahead and introduce yourself, your name, your trade, your years of experience. Um, what kind of electrical work and mechanical work did you do before joining the program?
My name is Ryan Manciu. I've been in the trade. I've been a journeyman lineman for 16 years. Sheesh. Yeah, about 16 years at least. Uh, so I've been doing that. And so electrical experience, a lot of high voltage, some low voltage, mainly a lot of for low voltage stuff, putting in secondary stuff into houses and into like some factories and some big businesses and whatnot. Did a little bit of power into the well, I guess it'd be the service part for Google, but it's all like high voltage 7200 stuff.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. And then mechanical work, like, so I've done, I mean, throughout my years, I've done many various jobs before I became a journeyman. One of them was being a diesel mechanic for about 5 years. Yeah, about 5 years. Went to diesel mechanic school, so
Nice. What
been
made you stop doing
kind of
that?
all over. Uh, the at the time that when I went into the diesel mechanic school, the diesel trade was booming, and then as soon as I got out, kind of slowed down. Worked at a mine doing mechanical work, working on big old haul trucks and stuff like that. A lot of hydraulic and mechanical work there,
Oh,
which
nice.
is pretty cool,
That's pretty
especially
sweet.
when you're working on a vehicle with the tires. Just the tire itself is twice as tall as you are.
Oh, yeah.
So
Serious. Yeah, that's
yeah,
pretty cool though.
yeah, it was pretty
That's
cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. I did some housework, just with a friend of mine that was an electrician as well, kind of on the
Nice.
side. I had the opportunity to do some metering school stuff. The company I used to work for needed like a meter tech because they lost them, and so I was like, well, train me up and I'll do that too as well. So that was pretty cool. I did accelerated course on that, and then I got the opportunity to help wire in a generator at a hydro plant, which was pretty awesome. Which something I've never done before, but it was pretty cool.
Nice.
So
Nice.
yeah.
Cool. So what most SCD builders been training?
Say that one more time. You kind of broke up a little bit.
Yeah, what motivated you to join the SCD Builders BIM VDC training?
I got the email from oh goodness gracious, I said a brain fart. From LinkedIn, there we go. And so for some reason I clicked on it. It's like, clicked on it, read it. I'm like, sounds like something I want to do. I'm always looking for something, I'm always looking to learn something new. And the possibility to be able to work from home, spend more time with the family, learn something new, and something that's a little easier on the body. That many, years in the trade takes a toll on you. And be able to work, I mean, just looking at what they do, really piqued my interest and got me a little excited about it. And so, learning the Revit program and the Navisworks has been, it's been a challenge, but it's been pretty exciting at the same time. So it was something new, another chapter in my life, and being able to really spend time at home with my family was a big one.
I think that's the main thing about all of us. We get to spend time with our family, get more time at home. more time for like personal projects and stuff like that. I know that,
Mhm.
I love working on my personal projects. I love working in the garage and stuff like that. So I'm, never finding time because I'm always working, and I'm always out in the field working all the time and doing, 10, 12, 14-hour days and stuff. And so when this opportunity came upon me as well, I was just like, yeah, I'm really intrigued. But what threw me for a loop was the whole remote electrician thing. It's like, how the hell can I be a remote electrician? You know, the only thing
Right.
I could think was like, traveling electrician. That's the only thing I could think. At the time, and then it got explained to me of what I'll be, what's going to be happening, and I was like, oh, okay, now I understand. Okay, cool. So yeah, it really intrigued me as well. But so what made you decide to drop the tools and pick up the keyboard?
Um, you know, I think a lot of it was just to drop the tools, uh, was the body's getting wore down and, waking up in the morning and having to get moving and work through, work the pain off until it stops hurting and, then get on with your day. Uh, you know, as you know, the job just, it does take a toll on you no matter what you do. And, to, basically really do the kind of the same thing without actually doing it. It was very intriguing. Just basically, I looked at it as I'm still doing the job, but just not doing it in the field, just doing it in a different way. And it was something that I was like, well, let's do this. It was kind of hard to figure out if I really wanted to do it or not, but, going through this program and, uh, listening to the, Luis and stuff, and it really kind of helped make that decision for me.
So what was the hardest part about moving from the field to digital construction?
Uh, I think I think it was just hard. I've been doing it for so many years. It's a job I enjoyed. Uh, I think that was the hardest thing. It was a great job, uh, rewarding, and like I said, I think that was the hardest thing was to kind of let that go. But knowing that, with my family a lot, especially when you're getting called out in the middle of the night and gone for sometimes 16, 18 hours a day, especially during the winter or summertime with fires or winter storms. Knowing that I don't have to drive in the snow anymore was a plus. I can sit at home when it's snowing outside.
That's totally true, man. I totally know what you mean. Yeah. So how has this new direction impacted your career, your goals, and your family life?
Uh, you know, it, my career, it's a new career path for me. I'm excited about it. I've, like I say, I've had a couple different career changes before I finally figured out I wanted to be a journeyman lineman. And I think I just feel like this is, something's telling me this is the next career path I need to go down. And I know my family is excited because they feel the same way I do. They'll be home more and uh, get to spend more time with them, and be able to sit at home and work on projects. My son he loves computer stuff, so he's always been watching over my shoulder when I'm doing my schoolwork, working on the projects and stuff. And so that's something that I kind of been showing him as well as I'm going through it. And I know my kids just like the fact that I'd be home more. And so I think that it impacted in a positive way.
Very nice. I like that. That's good. I like how your son is intrigued about it as well, and he's like just as interested as you. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what have you learned so far that's been the most valuable in the training for being a BIM VDC specialist?
What's been, it's a good question. You know, it's valuable. I think being able to just, jump on Revit into a project, and I think the valuable part of it, I think I'm looking at it a little different. The valuable part is jumping on a project and not really knowing how to do it, but trying to figure out how to do it. And then once you figure it out and are able to do it, and you can show your teammates that same thing that they might be struggling with, and vice versa, them, me. I think that's the most valuable thing, is working as a team and figuring things out when you're learning the program, and having that teamwork, I think has been the most valuable.
Nice. I like that. So which software tools are you now most confident using, like Revit, Navisworks, and Bluebeam?
Uh, Bluebeam, I'm still learning. I mean, I can scroll through the page and stuff like that. As far as markups on the Bluebeam, I haven't done that yet. So I'm not really comfortable there yet. I mean, as far as scrolling through the plan stuff and trying to find things, I'm getting better at that. Revit, I'm getting more comfortable in it. Still a lot to learn there. It's a very intense program. As far as Navisworks, the little bit we've done on that so far, as far as like, flying through and checking things out, I'm pretty comfortable on that. Clash detection stuff, I still need to learn. I'm still working on that. Still have to go on the Navisworks because I haven't done a whole lot there yet. Uh, but like I say, I think Bluebeam and Navisworks are the ones that, not Navisworks, but Revit. Still not very comfortable, but working on it and getting there slowly but surely.
Nice. Okay, cool. That's good, man. That's good. Um, how has SCD Builders supported your learning and your professional growth so far?
The different meetings that we've had to kind of explain things is very helpful. Going through, and if you have any kind of a question, emailing, uh, getting the answer is pretty quick. They're pretty quick to respond to it. So they're very helpful in that aspect of it. And I would say that's the most, is they're ready to answer any questions, or if there's a common question between all of us, they will jump on a video and explain it to us, and be able to answer questions in videos is very helpful.
Nice, very nice. So, would you recommend this training to other tradespeople, and why would you?
Yeah, I would recommend it. I've already kind of talked to a couple guys that I know about it that are interested in it. Because I think it's a great program. Uh, I think that there's always room for more people to do this and transfer over, because I think, like Louise put it, we're like the unicorn, so to speak, and knowing the trade, knowing how things go together, and then putting the program, learning the program, I think will help not only us, in the workspace, but also help the companies with their projects. When you got somebody that knows the materials and how things work, I think it's going to be a big change in the industry. And so I'd suggest that to anybody that's in the trade, that is looking to get out of the tools. Because I know some of them are just diehard tools and will never leave, but I know that there's some that want to still do the job, but just physically can't anymore. I think this would be a great one for them too, because you can do this job as long as you want to do it.
Exactly.
So yeah,
Exactly. Totally agree with that. Yeah, we've got actually a little plan, or Lewis has got a plan. He came up with it of trying to bring in injured workers that have been injured in the field and bring them in to where they can still make a difference, still do electricals and try to train them on doing modeling and stuff. I think it would be a really good thing. So, but yeah, I totally agree. That's awesome. I'm glad you've recommended it so far, and I'm glad you're liking it so far. It's pretty good. Um, why should so a message to electrical contractors that are looking to hire and stuff like that. Well, why should electrical contractors trust SCD builders with their BIM and VDC work?
and I would recommend them, with their BIM and BDC work. The amount of time and effort I've seen that they put into us just shows a lot for their company and what they have invested in their company to get the work done professionally and timely manner that shows a lot to about a company. So I would suggest this to other electrical contractors.
Nice. That's really good. So how does having like real electricians doing BIM modeling make a difference over somebody that's never been in the field?
Kind of like I was talking about before, is they know every bend, every piece of equipment, how it's going to work going around or through certain things, which can be cost effective because they're going to know you're looking in the model like that's not going to work. You're going to have to change it this way. Um, and it just saves time in the field from having to make that decision. You can make it before it even gets there. Um, and you can take a look at a model that's built and say, yeah, that vent's not going to work. We can't get wire pulled through that. You're going to have to figure out a different way, or this way is going to work better. Save time and money.
No, I totally agree. Just having us somebody like us out there is helping save the money and save time on these projects as far as clashes and change orders and resubmit all that trying
Mhm.
to slow down the project, whatever's trying to slow down the project. That's where we come in and we try to fix that problem and make sure that it doesn't slow down the project, and I think we're the best ones for it. I totally agree.
Right. I think
um
like on that same note too, is like, they were talking about sending us, doing some travel to the job sites and talking with these guys too and say, hey, I made this change. What do you think? Yeah, it worked, but maybe this time do this, and knowing that knowledge and be able to, basically, speak the language of the ones working on it
yeah.
and building on that.
Yeah, exactly. I totally know what you mean. Yeah, we can totally go talk to those type of people and, actually be on the same page, talking about the same exact thing. These modelers, you have them go out there and go speak to one of these guys, they're going to be like, huh? Like, what is that?
Right? Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
totally. So, how does, having, um, what kinds of problems happen when BIM models are made by people without field experience? You kind of already put a nail in the coffin there with the like a bend and stuff like that. So, but put another example out there.
Just I think that they don't know the trade. They know the names and what to use, but they don't know how to use it, so to
Mhm.
speak. They don't know the aspects, the ins and outs of it. So they just kind of like, oh, this looks good. Let's put this way. And instead of putting it in a certain way, it's gonna look good and it's gonna be functional and work in the field. And knowing the different pieces and parts to go into different panels or junctions or stuff like that. You know, they know the names and the pieces, but they don't really know how things go together. You know, they look at a computer, the computer says that, but the computer's not always right. You know, when you have that experience in the field, it's a big one to know.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. The experience in the field is like more than half the battle, I believe. I think it's like 80% of the battle. I mean, hey, I mean, how long have we been doing this for now? I mean, I'm pretty sure we can get in there and go model a project, you know. It shouldn't be that hard as long as we have the drawings and, you know, and we already know what we're doing. So, having this field knowledge will help us build those models a lot better, I believe. So,
Yeah.
if you could speak directly to an electrical contractor, what would you tell them about why SCD Builder stands out?
Because I think SCD Builders is on the cutting edge of producing, you know, BIM and VDC managers by using, you know, electrical workers, and that they'd be beneficial to use SCD Builders because of that. Having the, you know, once again, bringing in the field knowledge to the computer knowledge is a win-win situation for them. And I think that it's going to benefit them, and they'd see that.
All right, cool. Sounds good.